What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Six Gaming Podcast. Filling in for your host as always, it's the man who's slowly losing his voice because I've been broadcasting since about 1 o'clock today. Yeah. So I'm Ron Klee. Welcome to Six Gaming Podcast. Shosan out apparently having to help some drunk guy. I don't know.
They're just our country's best.
Yeah, absolute best indeed.
If you have any friends that are in the military, ask them to tell you some funny military stories, because everybody that I know that's in the military is like, oh man, this one time, like we were in the waters off of England, and like some dude accidentally shot off the main cannon, but it went into international waters. Like, I know a guy who like accidentally shut down the reactors on his ship because he leaned against a wall.
Awesome. Very good. Anyway, this is episode 102, and I have only one awesome and illustrious co-host this week.
I am super illustrious.
You are super awesome.
I might just be lustrous. That's shiny. That's shiny.
Yes, sure. So
I don't know.
We're going to start off with the show as we always do, and since I have no voice, I'm just going to call it news. That's all I'm doing. I don't really want to go any further than that because I'm afraid I'll do something I don't want to do. So, we have some. What the hell is this?
I don't know. I'm pretty much the only one who.
2016 too.
Yeah.
Did this really start happening?
It's kind of like, well, no, because Final Fantasy X wasn't really bad, and then Final Fantasy X-2 was.
Good point.
Yeah, I can't really think of a movie that was bad, and then the sequel started off bad, and you're like, maybe it'll get better, and then it got worse.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Mary Tyler Moore died.
Which was sad.
Yeah, she, in isolation, in another year, that would have been like, oh, that's sad. John Hurt also died yesterday. If you don't know John Hurt,
he sold Harry his wand.
Yes, he is Mr. Ollivander. He was also the War Doctor, who was the Doctor in Doctor Who between 8 and 9, and he also,
would he be 8.5 then?
Yeah, some people call him that. He says that he didn't deserve the name the Doctor. He also, when you think about aliens bursting out of people's chests, you think of John Hurt. Whether that is from Aliens or from Spaceballs, that was John Hurt.
Both of them?
He reprised his role, and that's why when it blows out and he goes, "Oh, not again."
Nice.
Yeah, so that's shitty. He did have cancer for a while though, so not totally unexpected. But
it's not like these are young people.
Yes.
Like, you don't want to see that happen.
No.
So. But
anyway, I wanted to get the bad geeky news out of the way, and then we'll go to good stuff.
Yeah, enough of this bad news. I've been doing damage control every day all week.
Damage report.
Yes. All right. So apparently we have a successful Kickstarter here. This is Pillars of Eternity 2. And they had a $1.1 million goal. And how much time's left on that?
26 days or so.
And how much more money do they need?
None. Negative. They're going for stretch goals.
No kidding. They have 1.5 million already.
They funded in one day. Now, I don't own Pillars of Eternity. I have a couple of friends who have played it. They said it's very good. Pillars of Eternity, and what's the other? There's another one that like Path of. I don't know. There were 2 RPGs that came out within the last couple of years. Both of which were kind of touted as spiritual successors to Baldur's Gate type games.
Path of Exile?
No. As soon as I started saying Path, I knew that wasn't right. I'll come back to it. But yeah, so very good RPGs. And Pillars of Eternity. And Divinity Original Sin, which is... Yeah. In the Divinity family. There have been other Divinity games, but they were kind of looked at as old school CRPGs. So Pillars of Eternity: Deadfire, which is the name of the sequel, very quickly funded, should be really good.
Indeed, yeah. That's hopefully it doesn't go the way of other large crowdfunded games. We won't name any of them, but I mean, I'm looking like at some of the art to this. Looks really good, so definitely check that out. That's at fig.co. I have not heard of that before.
I had not either. I mean, I trust the team. I mean, they made the first game.
Yeah.
And so they're a proven team with a, all they have to do, but they have to make a new game. But they've shown that they can make a good RPG game. So it's not like it's just people coming in. They're like, we're going to make this amazing new game. Like they're not saying they're going to break the mold. They're just going to say they're making a sequel to the game that was already good that they made. So.
Nice. Very cool. So now a little bit of techie news. Looks like RAM prices are going up again.
Yeah, like there's some kits that a year or two ago it was like $90 for I don't know, 2 sticks of 8 or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it's like 110 now. So
oh man,
yeah, we're talking 20% price increases almost or more, and it's supposed to go through Q2 and into Q3 and then kind of stabilize, but it's going to stabilize high for a while. So if you are thinking of upgrading your computer, and with like the new processors coming out, with new GPUs coming out, that might be a possibility. I recommend you buy some RAM now, if you know what kind you're going to need, because you're going to be paying extra for it if you keep waiting. And the reason is because basically smartphones are going crazy, and smartphone manufacturers are just basically eating up all the chips before they can be put into RAM sticks. They're being used for other things.
Now I want potato chips.
I know, right? As soon as I said eating up all the chips, I was like,
I want chips. I guess I'll have to settle for ice cream a little later.
I want British chips, French fries.
Yes, excellent. Yeah, it looks like the price was as low as $67 back in August, so that's quite a hike.
Yeah.
And if it's just going to keep going up, it's not great for us tech enthusiasts. I'm looking at upgrading at the end of this year, so might be on the other side of that. Hopefully that price stabilization comes down a bit by the end of the year, but we'll see.
I'm basically as upgraded as I'm going to be until someone else gives me a free graphics card that they're done with. As I said, I've upgraded my processors now, one of the faster ones out there. My motherboard I'm happy with, my memory I'm happy with, and I have my graphics is like a GTX 780 or something like that, which is pretty respectable still. So a couple of years, maybe I'll grab one of the 900 series, 1060, 1080, once it's old tech.
Oh, very nice. And moving on, I see we have a new Mass Effect trailer.
Yes, it's like a video talking about the crew of your ship, and talks about the Pathfinders, which are like I don't think it's your character. I think it's your dad is the Pathfinder on this mission, but they're like tied into the ship's AI core or something. And so the thing that we've kind of found out, and this may actually be old news, but the Andromeda mission left basically around Mass Effect 2, but the game takes place hundreds of years later, so they don't even know about the Reaper attacks. So it's going to be temporarily separated, but still be able to have links back to it, because people that you knew from Mass Effect 2 can somehow be like someone they know could be on this mission or whatever. There'll be some kind of link.
You mean like Cora Harper?
Like Cora Harper.
Yep. Apparently having the same surname as the Elusive Man.
Maybe Harper's a common name. I've got a friend who's married to a girl who had the last name Harper. I don't think she's related to the Elusive Man.
No, definitely not. What about Bryce Harper? You think he's related?
Definitely.
Definitely not. Definitely related?
Definitely, yes. Definitely related. Definitely related.
Definitely. Yes. But yeah, I mean, they were already speculating about that being a connection. So typically in the game world, when you have the same surname, that's not a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that goes. Another trailer. This is for something called Prey. I have not seen this game yet.
So if you remember,
it's Bloodbath into Bethesda.
Hmm?
Bloodbath into Bethesda.
Bethesda. Okay. If you remember around 2004, 2005, there was a game called Prey, and they were basically the originators of portal technology as it relates to video games, other than Narbacular Drop or whatever that was called. Not that team that created Portal, but they one of the first commercial games that had kind of portal-y stuff. You were this guy, a Native American guy, you're in a bar, and then you get abducted into this huge giant space station with a bunch of gravity bending stuff. Like a box falls over, and then you can see that like just a regular box that was up on a thing, and then you walk into the box and suddenly you're somewhere else on a wall across the room. Like very weird gravity. There's like a little tiny planetoid in a box, and you walk through a portal and end up on that planetoid.
Interesting.
There's like all these sections where you go into like the spirit realm and like walk between spirit realm things to solve puzzles. It's a very interesting game, good story. I really liked it. They tried to make it Prey 2 a couple years later. The whole thing got all fucked up and ended up never getting made. The team went away, whatever. They are now, so this game is a sort of reimagining / reboot of this game. So there are similar themes, similar kinds of like weapons or whatever, but it's not the same game as the original. Yeah.
Okay.
But I recommend if you've never played the original Prey game, go pick it up. It's probably cheap if you can find it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an 11-year-old game, so
yep.
There you go. 83 on Metacritic. That's always good.
Yep.
Very cool. And then I think that's about it. You have like a note here about me. What is this?
So on Overwatch,
people complaining about character art sizes again.
Yeah. So they did the Lunar Festival because it's the Chinese New Year,
right?
Starting yesterday, 2 days ago. And so Mei got a new costume. And the costume makes her look thin.
Interesting.
And people were like, what the hell? That's not how she's supposed to look. And Blizzard said, it was just a modeling error, blah, 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 and they've already fixed it.
Yeah, the bug with Luna and Chang skins are what's causing her waist to appear much smaller than normal. Lovely. Yeah. So it's require a patch to implement, unfortunately. But
I know, but it's just funny. People lose their shit about the funny. Now people are complaining that their character is too thin now. I don't know. Can't make anyone happy.
Yes. Looks like they've added a new capture the rooster mode, which is like capture a flag, but obviously rooster.
Got to
for the rooster. It's kind of good. It fits that kind of game style. You go all the way back to Unreal Tournament, which had it, and various such types of similar gameplays in other games since then. So it's good to see them adding some more things to do.
I only played Facing Worlds. I don't know about you.
Yeah, Facing Worlds. Jeez, I hate that map. I hate that map so much. I think 90% of the people only played Facing Worlds.
Sniper right in that window, and then like the guided rocket on top of the tower.
Indeed. All right, so that's going to do it for the news section this week. We're going to go on and talk about what we've been playing in a section that we call
Games.
Characters? No, games. Absolutely. And your list is pretty short.
Yeah, I've been playing Diablo 3 some more. I mean, Witcher's always going to be there, but the season ends, right? I think I have 2 more tasks to do to finish all of the season journey completely to the final thing. I have to do a 70 Greater Rift solo, which I'm pretty sure I can do. I just haven't done it yet. and I have to level 3 gems to 70, I think.
Yeah.
Which that one's going to be a little tedious, but I've got 3 conquests. I can run 60 level 60 greater rifts, like basically as a speed run. Yeah, so it's been fun. I haven't really committed to any of the previous seasons this much. There was one other time that I got a stash tab, but it was kind of by bribing other people to carry me through shit. So
yeah, nice.
But yeah, it's been fun. Also, I haven't played this yet, but I got a game called I can't even see the entire name of the game because
that's fun.
On my other screen. It is called Dr. Langeskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a Whirlwind Heist.
What?
And it is a free game on Steam.
Well, there you go.
With very good reviews, actually.
It's a 15-minute game.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like but it's got like relatively good looking graphics, and it's kind of like it might be like you got to burn the rope. In the on the store page, there's like a video, the demo video or whatever, and it tells you exactly what you're going to be doing. It's like you're going to go down the steps, and there's going to be a tiger, and then you're going to have to get through the lasers. And so like it just seems interesting, but supposedly there's some kind of something
from the designer of the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, well, obviously
that should tell you everything you need to know about that. I think.
Yep. So I got that. I might play that tonight after the podcast. And I also just picked up on Bundle Stars for about another 12 hours or so. They have the Secret World Ultimate Edition. So the Secret World is an MMORPG with no subscription fee that is like based on the idea of conspiracies and kind of Lovecraftian horror and Stephen King. There's like monsters and stuff. It's sort of horror, sort of tech, and there's no levels and there's no classes. It's kind of like you get ability points and you put them however you want to make your character however you want. But obviously there are suggested builds, and that was like $12 or something, and you get the base game and chapters 1 through 11 and 15, which is basically everything that's out there that's story based. So if for the cost of a nice lunch and a drink during your workday, you can pick up this game, which is supposedly around 40 to 50 hours of gameplay if you just blitz through everything. But if you enjoy the story and listen to the dialogues and everything, it's well over 100 hours for $12. And a lot of people said,
are you suggesting that I skip lunch next week?
You can skip lunch and buy the game. I've seen a lot of things that it's good to play. It's fun to play casually because you can basically play it as a single player game and only do the raids, dungeons, whatever, when you feel like it. It's not as much like WoW where you kind of have to do it if you want to get much out of the game.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's a lot of story, and I know there's a lot of lore in WoW, but it's not very story. It's not like playing an RPG. It's go find me 7 tiger skins. So pick that up, and we'll probably play that eventually. What are you up to?
I'm up to a lot of things. I started off playing a little Descent Underground on Sunday, trying to get back into that. And they have a pretty neat mode where there's robots that spawn and you have to take over certain areas without dying. And it's pretty neat. There's like boss enemies and stuff. It's definitely a different type of way to play that game against robots. So very fun. Played some more Death State. Haven't done a whole lot with that. On Tuesday, I started playing Crypt of the Necrodancers Amplified. That was awesome. Didn't do very well in the tournament, but I did take a game off of Squega, which was pretty cool. He went to go on and lose to Spooty Biscuits. So,
nice.
And then on Wednesday, got a whole bunch of games on the wheel. I played a game by the name of Polarity, which I picked up in a developer's bundle for like $2, along with 3 other games. Polarity, it's a very fast game. It's a quick game. You could probably play it. You could probably finish it in one night. I have 2.3 hours into this game, and I've beaten the main game twice and the bonus packs once. But it is a good game. It is. It's very Portal-esque in that it's like first-person puzzler, and the deal is that your polarity is either blue or red, and you can only do certain things when you're blue or red, and same with the objects. So it's kind of a fun game. I definitely recommend it. Recommend playing it. Played a little GTR Evolution. That's a racing game, and it's kind of funny because like the first is very realistic racing. So you do one thing wrong and you're off the road. And I was doing that for like the first 3 laps of my game, and I ended up kind of like in a 10-lap game. Ended up coming back and getting 3rd place. It's like,
nice.
A little unrealistic. A little more Toki-Tori ended up on the wheels. Just played that for a bit. And then I played this ridiculous team-based FPS game called Dino D-Day.
That sounds amazing.
It is basically set in World War II. And
so it's literally Dino D-Day.
It is literally Dino D-Day with literal playable dinos.
I like it. Wait, is everyone dino, or like dinos?
No, there are humans. There are dinos.
Are they dino Nazis?
I don't know if they're Nazis necessarily. They call them Axis and allies.
Nazi-saurus.
But I mean, there's like ranged guys and there's like melee guys that can run up and you can just kind of like jump on your opponents. The game itself is ridiculous. I had a lot of trouble with the netcode because nothing was hitting, even though I'm shooting this guy. He's right in front of me. He's on my crosshairs. He's not dying. So it's like, whatever. So I just toss that game out. Played a little bit of Portal, and I found out something. If you turn on developer commentary at any point, you also turn on cheat mode without realizing it. So from that point on, at any point you get achievements, they are invalidated.
Well, that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. So I was like playing all the advanced Portal maps and was beating them and wasn't getting credit for them. Like, what the hell? So aside from that, like I said, I've been on air since about 1 o'clock today. We did 6.5 hours of the observatory.
What did your little elven eyes see?
Huh?
What did your elven eyes see?
Elven eyes?
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Do I look elven to you? But yeah, we played a whole bunch of matches. Jedi Luke actually, he ended up winning the whole thing, but not without losing a game in the finals. So it was actually pretty exciting. We had a really close match. There's one between Melvin and Cyrus that went 35-33. A lot of other close games as well. A lot of fun times. It was a very good event. I ended up getting raided by Elad Difficult, who runs the Necrodancer community. There was a Necrodancer event today, and all of a sudden, Elad Difficult has hosted your channel for 153 viewers.
Nice.
Like, yeah, I'll take it. So it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun today. It was a fantastic event, and definitely something we're going to go back to. But we need to tweak some things. There's a few things I don't like about the format. There's a few things that other people don't like about the format, and we can fix them. It's a lot of fun. The general feedback is a very positive event. It was very cool to be able to co-cast with one of the legends of the game from back when the game first came out, a guy by the name of Birdseye. I was basically calling the match with me for 6.5 hours. It was very awesome. So definitely going to be doing more of that. It was a whole lot of fun.
So
More fun got bounced in the first round. This is cool.
If I haven't played the game for approximately 20 years or whatever it is since it's come out, I probably shouldn't try competing, right?
I mean, a lot of people do.
I was really good at Minerva.
Minerva, jeez. Hold on. First facing Worlds, and now Minerva. Yeah, this is deserving of a facepalm.
I think we played one match at Minerva one time when I was in college. Didn't we?
I don't remember. Minerva. Oh my God, Minerva. But
at least I wasn't talking about the. I don't even remember what those. Did they have names, or was it just level? Like there were like 5 levels that came with the game that were multiplayer levels.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of levels that came with the game.
I just remember the first one had like a volcano in the
Total
middle.
Chaos.
Is that what it was called?
Total Chaos.
Yep. And you go down.
Yeah, I know that one.
I used to sit. I'd play. We had 246s that were just connected with a regular network cable, and I would get the cluster missile and go inside the
Mega or Smart.
No, the smart missile.
Smart missile.
And I'd go inside like the volcano thing, and wait for my sister. I'd play against my sister, and I'd wait for her to respawn. And as soon as she came out the door, I'd shoot it up at the ceiling, and then the smart trackers would kill her.
Oh, jeez, that's rude.
Would just do that till I died, till I won.
Yes, yeah, it's still played rather competitively. Obviously, we had a ton of people watching today, so it was a whole lot of fun. To do that some more. So that's about it. So nice. We're moving on to the part of the show that we're completely prepared for. It is also Shosan's favorite part of the show.
I'm really super prepared for this. We actually don't have any viewers at the moment. And so I can't even ask them what our round table should be.
Well, we have one. There's one there.
Are you sure it's not just us?
I'm not on Twitch.
Oh, well, hi viewer.
Yes, but this is a 6 gaming roundtable where we usually ask a question about gaming, and we usually get intelligent response. Wait, no, we don't.
Well,
we usually get responses from people.
Yeah. Well, we're usually the people that are responding.
Whether they're intelligent or not, that depends on whether or not Veg is talking.
I mean, I've seen sci-fi shows where there were intelligent planets. Actually, didn't we find out that what's his face from Guardians of the Galaxy? The main character. I can't think of what.
I don't know either.
Star-Lord's father is an intelligent planet, I think.
Well,
I think spoiler.
Edge is an unintelligent planet.
Yeah, no, well that's where I was going with that. Is that just if there are intelligent planets, then there must be unintelligent planets also.
Yes. Yeah, it goes without saying there. So, fortunately, we have one of them occasionally on the show. Unfortunately, he's out this week. Shosan also out this week. But what do you want to talk about?
Usually it's one of our news stories has something interesting to talk about. I
kind of figure like the news stories this week were kind of meh. Yeah, I'll talk about something though. Because this is kind of related to Necrodancer, and of course it just came out with a new DLC and everything, and now we've got like all these new things to buy with it, such as soundtracks and stuff like that. Of course, there's 6 different artists that are now working on Necrodancer music, and OC Remix is the latest. They're the latest group to get into this whole thing, and this kind of brings up the question because this is kind of a trend with smaller developers, maybe not so much with larger developers, minus like say a collector's edition, but all these add-ons to the game, like soundtracks or art or boxed copies or stuff like that. Do you think that these are good for the industry?
I mean, if there are things that like, I mean, I guess in Necrodancer you could argue that the soundtracks are part of the game. They're meant to be part of the game, but honestly, they're just what DLC used to be, right? I mean, in some ways, DLC used to kind of be. So first, think about like Jedi Knight, the first Jedi Knight game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had Jedi Knight, then you had an expansion pack. The expansion pack was basically a half to 3/4 of a game, and you paid half to 3/4 the price of what you would otherwise pay.
Right.
And hey, points. And so at that point, I was fine paying that money. So Mysteries of the Sith was an expansion pack. I paid an expansion pack price. Now we have things that we call DLC. Some of them are expansion packs, and some of them are really what I would call downloadable content.
Mm-hmm.
The content is like art books, music, cosmetic items. That's really what, when I think of what DLC ought to be, like that's kind of it. And I'm fine piecemealing the DLC like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all cool stuff, and I like being able to be like, oh well, $2, I'll pick up this thing and that thing, and not either having to pay more for the game to get all that, or not having it available at all. So that way, the developers can release some extra content that they have available to them, and make a little bit of extra money without it hurting other players who either can't afford to buy that content, because it's really, I would consider extra soundtracks to kind of be a cosmetic item as far as Crypt goes. It's not really, but it kind, I mean,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and I mean all the soundtracks are in the game. This is more like buying them to play offline.
Right. Yeah.
So, and my thought on this is, it's interesting because at first it seems like it's a cash grab. Because
they're a company that's supposed to make money.
Yeah. But stay with me here. At first it seems like it's a cash grab, but then as you start getting into these games, you start realizing, hey, this game is really good, and you start as you start becoming a fan of the game, you're actually looking for stuff like this. You want to have that Necrodancer T-shirt. You want to have those soundtracks to play like on your iPhone or something.
Running to the Necrodancer music is actually really good.
That's awesome. And now there's other cases of DLC though, like you'll play, I don't know, of just some first-person shooter, and you have to buy a special gun for a certain amount, or World of Tanks, for instance, has buyable tanks.
Yeah,
that can change the game, and stuff like that is, I mean, that is, to me, that's a bit much. That is crossing the line. Having this stuff available and charging for it, that's fine. But I don't think that, like, getting into stuff that alters the gameplay, that's kind of not necessary. And it's like, even with World of Warcraft, for instance, they've kind of started to tread that line, because at first they started, okay, well, we're now going to sell mounts and little pets. Well, now they're selling XP boosts to 100, stuff like that. It's kind of, it's treading that line of good to bad, and they're really close to, like, if they were to start offering like say heirlooms or rep heirloom stuff like that, they shouldn't be doing that, and so far they're not. So hopefully they don't go down that path. But like Warcraft, I mean, my wife owns a ton of Warcraft stuff, whether that be books, a bunch of stuffed animals, stuff like that. We have a couple Murlocs sitting around. You can see a bunch of stuff on my back wall here. That's you see a lot of Necrodancer stuff back there. There's a lot of WoW stuff too on the wall and stuff. It's kind of hard to see a lot of it actually, but it's there. And that's because we're fans of the game. We enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. So, as far as like the cosmetic stuff or like additional art stuff or director's cut things, that's cool. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's when you start going into altering the game so that you have an advantage over someone that's not. And you mentioned about like DLC, of course, Amplified for Necrodancer. That's considered DLC, but it basically adds more to the game. And there's now additional challenges to the game. there's a new character in the game, stuff like that. That's not the same thing. That's more of that's kind of like more of what I would consider an expansion pack.
Well, because if it's not, I mean, it can be a competitive game, but it's not like, oh, well, you have the new character, so now you can do better in the game than me.
Yeah. So yeah, very cool.
Oh yeah, let's see. Point says he notices your Portal merch.
Yeah, I got some stuff back there. I got the companion cube, and my wife woke me up with the bot, what are they called, the turret?
Atlas turret.
Yeah, because I remember like one morning I'm waking up, I'm like really sleepy, and I walk out of my room and I look down. There's a turret down there. What the heck? Ran to the other room, grabbed my companion cube, and threw it at it. It took care of it, no problem.
I was thinking that like the World of Tanks, like if you shouldn't be able to buy a competitive advantage in a competitive game. I mean, I understand that it's just kind of accepted, but if you're playing Call of Duty or whatever, you should only be able to get better because your skill gets better. And granted, like you get better guns and levels and stuff as your skill increases. Like that's fine.
But yeah, unlocks over time, and as long as they're skill based, or you have to do the grind for them. Same with World of Warcraft. I mean, that's the way WoW has been forever.
Yeah, and I don't fault that. I don't fault the companies for doing what they do. Like for you to be able to unlock everything with money, there are some people that are busy and they have a lot of money, or not even a lot of money, just enough money that they want to spend on it, and they spend that money and get all the unlocks and pass ahead of people who spend a lot of time on it. And that's fine. It's just kind of crappy that you end up sometimes with people who are overpowered but are still shitty at the game. I think that's the thing that bothers me the most. Like, in IKEA, there were people who bought a fuck ton of credits, but they still sucked. And so you're like, could spend your money on something that's worthwhile. Maybe that's the basic reason why it's frustrating is people are spending money on something and then not being good at it anyway. It's like if you bought the same golf clubs that Tiger Woods owns, you're still going to be shitty at golf.
Exactly. I'm very shitty at golf.
So it just makes me angry seeing somebody using really expensive golf clubs when they're bad at golf. So like spend the time and the effort to get good at the thing that you apparently want to be good at, and then invest in making yourself better, edging up that mountain. So
yep. Yeah, very cool. Anything else you have?
I'm gonna say hi to Cardez72 right. Popped in.
That's Durndon.
Oh, well then.
Say hi to him anyway.
Durndon.
Oh fuck Durndon.
Yeah.
No, we love Durndon. He was actually watching the Descent the Descent show earlier, so good to see him back over here too. Very cool.
Yep, missed you on WoW, but I have had zero desire to come back.
No, I've been still playing it. I mean, I just haven't been listing it week in, week out. So, and yeah, see washer dryer near again. Awesome to see you back. But we're just about ready to wrap up here. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for joining. Definitely appreciate you guys being here. This has been the Six Gaming Podcasts, episode 102, which means we've done about almost 2 years of these. So, and with
since we've only missed
since our rebrand, we've only missed 1 week. And to be fair, that was BlizzCon weekend.
It was BlizzCon. I think I was sick.
It was a perfect storm.
Yes, I was throwing up all over the place. Veg was working. Show was probably on pain pills and alcohol.
Yeah.
It was a horrible
hurt himself
weekend.
Or something. It was a terrible weekend. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. We're still able to do this run, and I hope we keep going. So I'll do it for this week. Dan, any parting words you'd like to say?
Not really. I'm just glad to see we got some people in the channel. Tell your friends.
Oh fuck.
And
now we have.
Oh, Coles is here
in the channel. Let's wrap this up quickly.
We got to get out of here before.
Yes.
Hey Coles, get out of the church.
What? Oh jeez.
The second phase palm.
Why? I'm gonna get out of here before we get any more. Hey, he's got a good answer to that though. Where's Veg?
He's definitely dead.
I'm gonna
go play Dr. Langaskov, the Tiger, and the Terribly Cursed Emerald.
Good luck with that. I have no idea what I'm gonna do next. But,
I'll let you guys know how that is next week.
Yep. But I'm gonna be uploading all those observatory episodes to YouTube, and we'll have those all available. Today's was 6.5 hours. I can't believe it went that long. It was so awesome. So, but anyway, for the Six Gaming Podcast, and Dan, we'll see you guys next week. Mr. Pantherian, take it away.
See you next week. Same Six Gaming place, same Six Gaming time. See you, bye.